What if two legends of martial arts faced each other in their prime? Raw speed versus fearless creativity, precision versus unpredictability. On one side, Bruce Lee, a man so fast his moves had to be slowed down on camera, the founder of Jeet Kune Do, a symbol of pure discipline and explosive power. And on the other side, Jackie Chan, the master of chaos, turning every fight into a dangerous dance of stunts, humor, and insane resilience. This isn't just a fight. It's philosophy versus instinct, control versus creativity. Could Bruce Lee's lightning-fast strikes overwhelm Jackie's unpredictable style? Or would Jackie's endurance and improvisation outlast even the dragon himself? One battle, two icons, and a question that has sparked debate for decades. Who would really win? When comparing the fighting styles and philosophies of Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, the contrast is not just physical. It's deeply rooted in how each man understood combat, movement, and survival. Bruce Lee developed Jeet Kune Do as a direct response to what he saw as the limitations of traditional martial arts. He believed that rigid forms, fixed patterns, and overly stylized movements could become a weakness in real combat. For him, fighting was not about looking good or following tradition. It was about efficiency, speed, and ending a confrontation as quickly as possible. His philosophy centered on simplicity, using the most direct path to strike, eliminating unnecessary motion, and adapting instantly to whatever the opponent presented. He famously described his approach as using no way as way, having no limitation as limitation, which meant that he refused to be confined by any single martial art system. Instead, he absorbed techniques from multiple disciplines including Wing Chun, boxing, fencing, and wrestling, blending them into a fluid, practical system designed for real-world effectiveness. Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do emphasized interception, striking an opponent at the exact moment they initiate an attack. This required not only incredible speed but also precise timing and awareness. His footwork was light and calculated, allowing him to maintain distance while staying ready to explode forward in a split second. Every movement had purpose. There was no wasted energy, no unnecessary flourish. His punches were straight, fast, and delivered with maximum efficiency, often targeting vital points to disable an opponent quickly. Kicks were used strategically, not as flashy displays but as powerful tools to control distance and deliver damage. His training methods reflected this mindset, focusing on conditioning, reflex development, and real combat scenarios rather than choreographed sequences. Bruce Lee's philosophy was grounded in the belief that a fight should be over before it truly begins, minimizing risk and maximizing effectiveness. In contrast, Jackie Chan's fighting style evolved in a completely different direction, shaped by his background in Chinese opera training and his career in action cinema. While Bruce Lee sought to strip combat down to its most essential elements, Jackie Chan embraced complexity, creativity, and adaptability in a more theatrical, yet physically demanding way. His approach to fighting is heavily influenced by improvisation, where the environment becomes an extension of his body. Chairs, ladders, walls, tables, anything within reach can be transformed into a tool for defense or attack. This style is not about ending a fight in the shortest time possible. Instead, it's about surviving, adapting, and outmaneuvering the opponent through constant movement and unpredictability. Jackie Chan's philosophy reflects a defensive mindset, often portraying a reluctant fighter who avoids direct confrontation whenever possible. His characters frequently absorb hits, retreat, and use evasive maneuvers before finding opportunities to counterattack. This creates a rhythm in his fighting style that is very different from Bruce Lee's explosive precision. Jackie's movements are fluid and continuous, blending acrobatics with combat techniques. He uses momentum to his advantage, turning falls into rolls, mistakes into opportunities, and chaos into control. His training, which includes gymnastics, dance, and stunt work, allows him to perform complex sequences that require not just strength and speed, but also exceptional coordination and spatial awareness. Another key difference lies in how each fighter approaches risk. Bruce Lee's philosophy minimizes exposure to danger by focusing on decisive, preemptive strikes. He aims to control the fight from the very beginning, dictating the pace and preventing the opponent from gaining any advantage. Jackie Chan, on the other hand, often operates within the chaos of a fight, accepting a higher level of risk in exchange for greater adaptability. His style thrives in unpredictable situations, where quick thinking and environmental awareness become more important than strict technique. This makes his approach highly versatile, especially in dynamic settings where traditional martial arts techniques might be limited. The mental aspect of their philosophies also highlights a significant contrast. Bruce Lee viewed combat as a form of self-expression, where the fighter must be completely honest with themselves and free from ego. His teachings emphasize the importance of mental clarity, focus, and emotional control. He believed that fear, anger, and hesitation could all become obstacles, and that true mastery came from understanding both oneself and one's opponent. His philosophy extended beyond fighting, influencing his views on life, personal growth, and the pursuit of excellence. Every movement in Jeet Kune Do is a reflection of this mindset, aiming for a balance between physical skill and mental discipline. Jackie Chan's philosophy, while less formalized, reflects a different kind of intelligence, one rooted in adaptability, resilience, and creativity. His approach to combat is less about internal discipline and more about external awareness. He reads the environment, reacts to changing peristidia, and uses whatever resources are available to gain an advantage. His style often incorporates elements of humor and playfulness, which can serve as a psychological tool to confuse opponents and disrupt their rhythm. This unpredictability makes it difficult for an opponent to anticipate his next move, creating openings that can be exploited in unexpected ways. Training methods further illustrate the divergence in their philosophies. Bruce Lee's regimen was intense and highly focused, combining strength training, cardiovascular conditioning, and martial arts practice. He pushed his body to its limits, constantly seeking to improve speed, power, and endurance. His workouts were designed to enhance his ability to execute techniques with maximum efficiency, ensuring that every strike carried significant impact. He also placed a strong emphasis on sparring and real-world application, testing his skills against resisting opponents to refine his approach. Jackie Chan's training, while equally demanding, is more diverse in nature. His background in the China Drama Academy exposed him to a wide range of physical disciplines, including acrobatics, dance, and stage combat. This foundation allowed him to develop a unique style that combines martial arts with performance. His training emphasizes flexibility, balance, and coordination, enabling him to perform complex stunts and adapt to various environments. While his fights may appear less direct than Bruce Lee's, they require a high level of physical skill and timing to execute safely and effectively. The philosophical divide between these two legends can also be seen in their approach to opponents. Bruce Lee's mindset is confrontational. He engages directly, seeking to dominate and neutralize the threat as quickly as possible. His techniques are designed to overwhelm the opponent, leaving little room for counterattack. Jackie Chan's approach is more reactive. He observes, evades, and waits for the right moment to strike. His style often involves drawing the opponent into mistakes, using their momentum against them, and creating opportunities through movement and positioning. Despite these differences, both philosophies share a common foundation in adaptability. Bruce Lee's rejection of rigid systems and Jackie Chan's improvisational approach both emphasize the importance of flexibility in combat. Neither fighter is bound by a single style. Instead, they adapt to the situation at hand, using whatever techniques are most effective in the moment. This ability to evolve and respond to changing peristidia is what sets them apart from many traditional martial artists. Their contrasting styles also reflect their different goals. Bruce Lee's primary focus was on real combat effectiveness, developing a system that could be applied in actual fighting scenarios. His philosophy is rooted in practicality, aiming to prepare the fighter for genuine threats. Jackie Chan's style, while still grounded in martial arts, is heavily influenced by his work in film. His fights are designed to entertain as well as demonstrate skill, blending action with storytelling. This does not diminish the effectiveness of his techniques, but it does shape the way they are presented and executed. In essence, Bruce Lee represents the pursuit of perfection through simplicity, stripping away all that is unnecessary to reveal the core of combat. Jackie Chan represents the art of adaptation, embracing complexity and using creativity to navigate the unpredictability of a fight. One seeks to end the confrontation before it escalates, while the other thrives within the chaos, turning every challenge into an opportunity. When the discussion shifts to speed versus creativity, the contrast between Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan becomes even more intense, because this is where their abilities feel almost opposite in nature, yet equally dangerous. Bruce Lee's speed was not just fast, it was precise, calculated, and built for real combat efficiency. His movements were stripped down to their absolute minimum, eliminating hesitation and unnecessary motion. Every strike he delivered followed the shortest possible path, which made his attacks incredibly difficult to see, let alone block. It wasn't just about moving quickly, it was about reacting faster than the opponent could think. His reflexes were trained to intercept attacks at the exact moment they began, giving him the ability to control the rhythm of a fight before it could even develop. Bruce Lee's concept of speed was deeply tied to timing. He understood that raw quickness alone is not enough unless it is applied at the right moment. This is why his famous one-inch punch and rapid straight punches were so effective. They combined explosive power with perfect timing, allowing him to deliver maximum impact in a fraction of a second. His body mechanics were optimized for acceleration, meaning he could go from stillness to full-speed attack almost instantly. This sudden burst of motion made his strikes unpredictable, even though they followed a direct path. Opponents would often find themselves reacting too late, as his attacks were already landing before their defenses could fully engage. Another key aspect of Bruce Lee's speed was his footwork. He moved with a lightness that allowed him to shift positions effortlessly, maintaining balance while constantly adjusting distance. This gave him control over spacing, enabling him to stay just outside his opponent's reach while remaining ready to strike. His ability to close the gap in an instant made him extremely dangerous, as he could transition from defense to offense without any visible delay. This seamless flow between movements created a sense of pressure that forced opponents into defensive positions, limiting their ability to respond effectively. On the other side, Jackie Chan's creativity brings a completely different dimension to combat, one that does not rely solely on speed but instead uses unpredictability and environment as powerful tools. While Bruce Lee's movements are direct and efficient, Jackie Chan's style is dynamic, constantly changing, and filled with unexpected transitions. His creativity allows him to turn almost anything into a weapon or a defensive tool, making every fight scenario unique. This adaptability means that his opponent can never fully predict what he will do next, creating a psychological advantage that can be just as impactful as physical speed. Jackie Chan's approach to movement is fluid and continuous, often involving a combination of acrobatics, evasive maneuvers, and improvised techniques. He doesn't just attack or defend, he flows between the two, using momentum to create opportunities. A missed strike can become a spin, a fall can turn into a roll, and a defensive move can instantly transition into a counterattack. This constant motion makes it difficult for opponents to find a stable target, as he is rarely in the same position for long. His ability to adapt in real time allows him to respond to unexpected situations with creative solutions, often catching his opponent off guard. One of the most distinctive elements of Jackie Chan's creativity is his use of the environment. Unlike traditional fighters who rely primarily on their bodies, he incorporates objects and surroundings into his fighting style. A chair can become a shield, a ladder can be used for both attack and defense, and walls can be used to gain height or change direction. This expands the range of possibilities in a fight, turning even a disadvantageous situation into an opportunity. His awareness of his surroundings allows him to think several steps ahead, using the environment to control the flow of the fight in ways that a purely speed-based approach might not achieve. While Bruce Lee's speed creates pressure through rapid, decisive actions, Jackie Chan's creativity creates confusion. Opponents facing Bruce Lee would struggle to keep up with his pace, often being overwhelmed by the sheer speed and precision of his attacks. In contrast, Opponents facing Jackie Chan would struggle to anticipate his movements, as his style does not follow a predictable pattern. This unpredictability forces opponents to constantly adjust, which can lead to mistakes and openings that Jackie can exploit. The psychological impact of not knowing what will happen next can be just as powerful as the physical impact of a fast strike. Another important difference lies in how each fighter uses their strengths to control the fight. Bruce Lee uses speed to dominate the tempo, setting the pace and forcing the opponent to react to him. His attacks are designed to disrupt the opponent's rhythm, preventing them from establishing any form of control. Once he gains the advantage, he maintains it through continuous pressure, leaving little room for recovery. Jackie Chan, on the other hand, often allows the fight to develop naturally, using his creativity to adapt to the opponent's actions. Instead of forcing a specific rhythm, he blends into the flow of the fight, using his unpredictability to create opportunities as they arise. The physical demands of their respective approaches also highlight the difference between speed and creativity. Bruce Lee's style requires explosive power, quick reflexes, and precise coordination. His training focuses on maximizing these attributes, ensuring that every movement is executed with optimal efficiency. This level of speed requires intense discipline and conditioning, as even a slight delay or miscalculation can reduce its effectiveness. Jackie Chan's style, while still physically demanding, requires a broader range of skills. His creativity depends on flexibility, balance, coordination, and spatial awareness, as well as the ability to think quickly under pressure. His movements often involve complex sequences that require precise timing and control, especially when interacting with the environment. Despite these differences, there is an underlying connection between speed and creativity. Both require a deep understanding of movement, timing, and awareness. Bruce Lee's speed is not just physical, it is mental, allowing him to process information and react almost instantly. Jackie Chan's creativity also relies on quick thinking, as he must constantly assess his surroundings and adapt his strategy in real time. In this sense, both fighters operate at a high level of mental and physical coordination, even though their approaches appear very different on the surface. The effectiveness of speed versus creativity can also depend on the context of the fight. In a controlled one-on-one scenario with minimal environmental factors, Bruce Lee's speed and precision could provide a significant advantage. His ability to strike quickly and decisively would make it difficult for an opponent to mount an effective defense. However, in a more complex environment with multiple variables, Jackie Chan's creativity could become a powerful asset. His ability to use the surroundings and adapt to changing peristylia would allow him to find solutions that go beyond traditional fighting techniques. Another factor to consider is how each approach handles unpredictability. Bruce Lee's speed allows him to respond quickly to unexpected situations, but his style is still rooted in direct, efficient movements. Jackie Chan's creativity, on the other hand, thrives on unpredictability, often turning unexpected events into opportunities. This difference in approach can influence how each fighter reacts under pressure. Bruce Lee might aim to regain control through rapid, decisive action, while Jackie Chan might embrace the chaos, using it to his advantage. The visual representation of their styles further emphasizes the contrast between speed and creativity. Bruce Lee's movements are sharp, focused, and direct, with each action serving a clear purpose. His fights appear almost surgical in their precision, with no wasted motion. Jackie Chan's movements, in contrast, are more elaborate and expressive, often involving a series of interconnected actions that create a sense of flow and rhythm. His fights are not just about defeating the opponent, but also about navigating the environment and adapting to changing peristylia. Ultimately, the comparison between speed and creativity highlights two different philosophies of combat. One prioritizes efficiency, precision, and control, using speed to dominate the fight and minimize risk. The other embraces adaptability, unpredictability, and innovation, using creativity to navigate complexity and turn challenges into opportunities. When examining strength and endurance in the context of a hypothetical clash between Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, the comparison becomes a fascinating study of two very different kinds of physical dominance. Strength, in Bruce Lee's case, was not just about raw muscle or brute force. It was about explosive power, precision, and the ability to generate maximum impact in the shortest possible time. His physique was built for efficiency, lean, defined, and highly functional. Every muscle he developed had a purpose contributing to speed, balance, and striking power. His training methods reflected this focus, combining traditional martial arts conditioning with modern strength training techniques, including weightlifting, isometric exercises, and high-intensity drills. Bruce Lee's strength was most evident in his ability to deliver devastating strikes with minimal motion. His famous one-inch punch is often cited as an example of his explosive power, demonstrating how he could generate significant force from a very short distance. This kind of strength is not purely muscular. It involves coordination, timing, and the efficient transfer of energy through the body. His punches were not just fast, they carried weight, capable of causing serious damage if landed cleanly. His kicks, particularly his side kicks, were equally powerful, designed to control distance and incapacitate an opponent quickly. This focus on impactful strikes meant that Bruce Lee did not need prolonged exchanges to dominate a fight. A few, well-placed attacks could be enough to shift the outcome decisively. In addition to striking power, Bruce Lee's core strength and stability played a crucial role in his fighting ability. His balance allowed him to maintain control even during rapid movements, ensuring that his attacks remained accurate and effective. His conditioning extended beyond visible muscle, incorporating endurance training that enabled him to sustain high levels of performance without fatigue compromising his technique. He believed that a fighter must be prepared for any situation, which meant building a body capable of both explosive bursts and sustained effort. His workouts often included long sessions of cardiovascular training, shadow boxing, and sparring, all designed to enhance stamina while maintaining speed and power. On the other hand, Jackie Chan's strength presents itself in a very different form, one that is closely tied to endurance, resilience, and the ability to absorb and recover from physical stress. While he may not emphasize explosive striking, power in the same way as Bruce Lee, his physical capabilities are no less impressive. Jackie Chan's strength lies in his durability, developed through years of intense stunt work and rigorous training in acrobatics and performance. His body is conditioned to withstand impacts, falls, and repeated darbet, allowing him to continue functioning even in situations that would exhaust or incapacitate many others. Endurance is where Jackie Chan truly stands out. His fighting style often involves prolonged sequences of movement requiring sustained energy and constant adaptation. Unlike a fighter who seeks to end the confrontation quickly, Jackie Chan's approach can involve extended engagements, where stamina becomes a critical factor. His ability to keep moving, dodging, climbing, and improvising over long periods gives him an advantage in situations where the fight does not end immediately. This level of endurance is built through years of training that combines physical conditioning with practical experience, pushing his limits in real-world scenarios, rather than controlled environments. Another important aspect of Jackie Chan's endurance is his pain tolerance. His career is filled with examples of injuries sustained during stunts and fight scenes, yet he continued to perform and refine his craft. This resilience translates into his fighting style, where he often absorbs hits and continues to fight, using his ability to recover quickly as a strategic advantage. While Bruce Lee's philosophy aims to avoid taking damage altogether, Jackie Chan's approach accepts that some level of impact is inevitable and prepares the body to handle it. This difference highlights two contrasting views on combat. One, focused on minimizing risk, the other on surviving and adapting to it. The way each fighter manages energy also reflects their respective strengths. Bruce Lee's approach is highly efficient, conserving energy by eliminating unnecessary movement and focusing on decisive actions. His fights are designed to be short and controlled, reducing the need for prolonged exertion. This efficiency allows him to maintain peak performance throughout the encounter, as he is not wasting energy on ineffective techniques. Jackie Chan, in contrast, often expends more energy due to the nature of his movements and the complexity of his style. However, his endurance allows him to sustain this level of activity, turning what might be a disadvantage into a strength. The role of conditioning in their training further emphasizes these differences. Bruce Lee's regimen was meticulously planned to enhance specific attributes such as strength, speed, and endurance. He tracked his progress, experimented with different exercises, and continuously refined his methods to achieve optimal results. His focus on physical development was complemented by a deep understanding of biomechanics, ensuring that his body could perform at its highest potential. Jackie Chan's conditioning, while equally intense, is more experiential. His training involves repetitive practice of stunts and movements, building strength and endurance through real-world application. This hands-on approach develops not only physical kudra, but also the ability to react under pressure. In terms of muscle utilization, Bruce Lee's strength is characterized by explosive contraction, rapid engagement of muscles to produce powerful movements. This type of strength is ideal for striking, allowing him to deliver forceful attacks with minimal buildup. Jackie Chan's strength, on the other hand, often involves sustained muscle engagement, supporting continuous movement and complex sequences. His ability to maintain control during acrobatic maneuvers and transitions requires a different kind of muscular endurance, one that supports prolonged activity rather than short bursts of power. The psychological aspect of strength and endurance also plays a significant role. Bruce Lee's confidence in his abilities, combined with his disciplined mindset, allows him to approach combat with a sense of control and determination. His focus on self-improvement and mastery translates into a mental strength that complements his physical capabilities. Jackie Chan's resilience, both physical and mental, is reflected in his willingness to push through katanaya and continue performing despite challenges. His ability to remain adaptable and composed under pressure is a testament to his mental endurance. When considering how these attributes would interact in a fight, the contrast becomes even more apparent. Bruce Lee's strength could allow him to deliver decisive strikes early in the encounter, potentially ending the fight before endurance becomes a factor. His ability to generate power quickly and accurately would make him a formidable opponent in the initial stages. However, if the fight were to extend over a longer period, Jackie Chan's endurance could become increasingly important. His ability to sustain movement, absorb impacts, and adapt to changing परिस्थितियां would allow him to remain effective even as fatigue sets in. Environmental factors could also influence the balance between strength and endurance. In a confined space with limited avser for movement, Bruce Lee's power and efficiency might dominate, as the fight would likely be short and direct. In a more open or complex environment, Jackie Chan's endurance and adaptability could provide an advantage, allowing him to use the surroundings to extend the fight and create opportunities over time. This interplay between physical attributes and environmental conditions highlights the importance of context in determining the effectiveness of each approach. Another layer to this comparison is recovery. Bruce Lee's focus on efficiency reduces the likelihood of fatigue and injury, allowing him to maintain a high level of performance throughout the fight. Jackie Chan's resilience, however, enables him to recover from setbacks and continue fighting, even after taking hits or experiencing katanaya. This ability to bounce back can be a निर्णायक factor in prolonged engagements, where the ability to endure and adapt becomes more important than initial strength. Ultimately, the comparison between strength and endurance is not about determining which is superior, but about understanding how each attribute contributes to a fighter's overall effectiveness. Bruce Lee's strength represents the pinnacle of explosive power and efficiency, designed to end conflicts quickly and decisively. Jackie Chan's endurance embodies resilience, adaptability, and the ability to sustain performance under challenging conditions. When imagining a real fight scenario between Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, the outcome becomes highly dependent on context, environment, and intent, because both fighters represent completely different approaches to combat shaped by their philosophies, training, and real-world experiences. A true fight is unpredictable, influenced by countless variables such as surroundings, mansic state, timing, duri, and the ability to adapt under pressure. Unlike choreographed sequences seen in films, a real confrontation does not follow a script, and even the smallest factor can shift the balance in an instant. In a controlled one-on-one street fight scenario, Bruce Lee's approach would likely give him an immediate advantage. His entire philosophy was built around real combat effectiveness, focusing on ending a fight as quickly and efficiently as possible. He would not waste time testing his opponent or engaging in prolonged exchanges. Instead, he would look for the earliest opportunity to strike, using speed, precision, and timing to disrupt Jackie Chan before he could establish any rhythm. Bruce Lee's ability to intercept attacks means that he would aim to catch Jackie in the moment of movement, delivering a decisive blow before the fight fully develops. His footwork would allow him to control the distance, staying just out of reach while remaining ready to close in instantly. Bruce Lee's strikes, particularly his straight punches and side kicks, are designed for maximum efficiency. In a real fight, these techniques could be devastating if landed cleanly, targeting vulnerable areas and potentially ending the confrontation within seconds. His focus on minimizing exposure to danger would also reduce the chances of him taking unnecessary hits. He would maintain a tight defense, relying on his reflexes and positioning to avoid attacks while creating openings for counterstrikes. This approach is highly effective in situations where speed and precision can overwhelm an opponent before they have time to react. However, Jackie Chan's presence in a real fight introduces a completely different dynamic. While he may not rely on direct confrontation in the same way, his adaptability and awareness of the environment could allow him to survive the initial burst of aggression. Jackie Chan's style is built around movement, evasion, and improvisation, which could make it difficult for Bruce Lee to land a clean near-knife strike immediately. Instead of standing his ground, Jackie would likely keep moving, using his agility to avoid direct engagement while searching for opportunities to counterattack. If the fight were to extend beyond the initial exchange, Jackie Chan's ability to adapt could begin to play a larger role. He is known for turning disadvantageous situations into opportunities, using the environment to his advantage in ways that are difficult to predict. In a street setting, this could mean using nearby objects for defense or distraction, creating dury, or altering the flow of the fight. His unpredictability could disrupt Bruce Lee's rhythm, forcing him to adjust his strategy in real time. While Bruce Lee excels in direct combat, Jackie's unconventional approach could introduce variables that are not easily controlled. The mental aspect of a real fight is also crucial. Bruce Lee's mindset is focused, disciplined, and direct, allowing him to approach combat with clarity and purpose. He would remain calm under pressure, relying on his training to guide his actions. Jackie Chan's mindset, on the other hand, is more flexible and reactive, allowing him to think creatively and adapt to unexpected situations. This difference in mentality could influence how each fighter responds to changing peristidia. Bruce Lee might attempt to regain control through decisive action, while Jackie Chan might embrace the unpredictability, using it to his advantage. In a cinematic or stunt-based environment, the balance shifts significantly in favor of Jackie Chan. His entire career has been built around performing complex fight sequences that combine martial arts with acrobatics and environmental interaction. In such a setting, his creativity becomes a powerful weapon, allowing him to use props, artifice, and movement to outmaneuver his opponent. Bruce Lee, while highly skilled, did not focus on this type of dynamic environment in the same way. His techniques are optimized for direct combat, not for navigating elaborate settings filled with obstacles and offense. In a scenario involving multiple levels, moving objects, or confined spaces, Jackie Chan's ability to adapt could give him a clear advantage. He could use walls to climb, railings to swing, and objects to block or redirect attacks, creating a constantly changing battlefield. This would make it more difficult for Bruce Lee to apply his straightforward approach, as the environment itself would become a factor that cannot be ignored. Jackie's experience with stunts and choreography allows him to move seamlessly through such spaces, maintaining balance and control even in complex situations. Endurance also plays a role in determining the outcome of a real fight. Bruce Lee's approach is designed to end the fight quickly, minimizing the need for prolonged effort. If he succeeds in landing a decisive strike early, the fight could be over before endurance becomes a factor. However, if the fight continues, Jackie Chan's stamina and resilience could become increasingly important. His ability to keep moving, absorbing impacts, and adapting to fatigue could allow him to outlast Bruce Lee in a longer engagement. This does not guarantee victory, but it introduces a new dimension to the fight that cannot be ignored. Another important factor is unpredictability. Bruce Lee's style, while highly effective, follows a philosophy of directness and efficiency. Jackie Chan's style, in contrast, thrives on unpredictability, making it difficult for an opponent to anticipate his next move. In a real fight, This unpredictability could create openings that might not exist in a more structured confrontation. Jackie's ability to improvise could allow him to exploit RG opportunities, turning the tide of the fight in unexpected ways. It is also worth considering the role of experience. Bruce Lee's training was heavily focused on real combat scenarios, sparring, and practical application. He sought to understand what works in an actual fight, refining his techniques to maximize effectiveness. Jackie Chan's experience, while rooted in martial arts, is more closely tied to performance and stunt work. However, this does not diminish his physical abilities or his understanding of movement and timing. His experience with complex sequences and high-risk situations has given him a unique perspective on how to navigate challenging prestigia. The outcome of a real fight between these two legends ultimately depends on which fighter can impose their style on the situation. If Bruce Lee is able to control the distance, maintain his rhythm, and land a decisive strike early, his chances of victory increase significantly. His speed, precision, and focus on efficiency make him extremely dangerous in a direct confrontation. If Jackie Chan is able to avoid the initial attack, extend the fight, and introduce environmental variables, his adaptability and creativity could shift the balance in his favor. There is also the question of intent. Bruce Lee's philosophy is rooted in ending the fight as quickly as possible, which suggests a more aggressive approach. Jackie Chan's style often reflects a reluctance to engage directly, focusing on a defer and evasion before counterattacking. In a real fight, this difference in intent could influence how each fighter approaches the situation. Bruce Lee might seek to dominate immediately, while Jackie Chan might prioritize survival and adaptation, waiting for the right moment to strike. Ultimately, a real fight scenario between Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan is not a simple comparison of skills, but a complex interaction of philosophies, physical attributes, and prestigium. Each fighter brings unique strengths to the table, and the outcome would depend on how those strengths are applied in the moment.